What's going on, everybody? It's Max. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to wax and maintain your snowboard. Now what waxing does for you is it speeds up your board if you're feeling a little bit slow or you're sticking to features, and it also just helps maintain that good health of your snowboard. First, I'm going to show you guys the tools that I use. All these come from the Outdoor Master waxing kit. You're going to need a snowboard specific waxing iron with some heat settings on there so you can use it on different types of waxes. Next, you're going to need a plastic scraper for your wax, and also a metal one if you're going to be using PTEX. Next, we're going to be using a lighter. Any standard one will do the trick just fine. PTEX candles if you're going to be repairing your base, a black one for any black colored bases, and a clear one for any other colored bases. Any standard screwdriver with the Phillips head to take off your bindings, and finally some brushes to restore the grain on your board. We have a soft horsehair brush, a medium stiffness nylon brush, and last of all, a hardwire copper brush to remove any excess wax. You're going to want to start off by prepping your table and taking off your bindings. What I did was I took a table I had and put 2 towels over it for my board to rest on. And then you're going to want to pop off those bolt covers on your bindings, and then just take the screwdriver and then screw all those bolts out of your board. Quick tip, if when you put your bindings on, you want this angle to be the same as it was before, leave that little disc at the same position. By now, it's probably a good time to plug your iron in so it's hot when you go to wax your board. On the box of the wax, there should be a designated temperature to set your iron to. Now that we're getting into the process, flip your board upside down. If you're going to repair any scratches in your base, grab your lighter and your PTEX candle. Also grab your metal scraper, but if you're not going to do this process, skip to this timestamp. To do this process, start by lighting the PTEX candle on fire, and then once it starts dripping, use something like your metal scraper for the wax to drip on. Once the wax is dripping at a medium to fast pace, you can start dripping the little wax droplets onto the big scratches in your board. Try to keep the wax stick pretty close to the board so the flame is really low and doesn't get out of control. I find that keeping the wax stick about 1 centimeter above your board works just fine. Once you cover up the gouges, blow out the flame and grab your metal scraper. After about 10 minutes, all your wax is going to be dry, and you can take your scraper and push it evenly across the board at about a 45-degree angle. Be very careful with this step and make sure you push very smoothly, as you could easily scratch your board. You know you're done scraping when pretty much all visible signs of wax are gone. Make sure you're not filling in any unnecessary gaps on your snowboard, but after you do the necessary ones, this is what your board should be looking like. For waxing your snowboard, I advise wearing something to cover up your clothes. This is so no wax gets on them. I got this apron from my kit. By now your iron should be pretty hot, so you can go ahead and grab that and also your wax. Now that you have those two, let's move on to actually waxing our snowboard. First, you're going to want to take the wax out of the box that it's in, and then if you feel some heat coming off your iron, you know that it's going to be ready. After you know it's ready, press the wax against your iron and let it start dripping onto your board. Next, we're going to want to drip the wax around the whole entire perimeter of the board, making sure to stay close to the edges. After we go around the whole entire board, we're going to want to make a crisscross pattern and go down the whole entire middle of the snowboard. We're going to want to make sure to go down the whole entire snowboard nice and slow, making sure to keep the wax nice and even. After we cover up the whole entire board with wax, this is what it should be looking like. Wax evenly dripped across the whole entire board with no big clumps of wax anywhere. After dripping all the wax onto your board, you're going to want to take your iron in a circle motion and just spread the wax evenly across your whole entire board. This may take a little bit of time to melt all the wax again, but just make sure to go around the whole board nice and smooth, creating a thin layer of wax. Right now, we're getting the other half of the snowboard all evened out with wax, and for me personally, I like to get as close as possible to the edges. This is what it should look like, wax covering the entirety of the snowboard with as little dry spots as possible. After around 25 minutes, your wax is going to be fully dry, and you're going to want to go ahead and grab your plastic scraper. Scraping the wax off your snowboard is pretty easy. All you have to do is just take your scraper at a 45-degree angle and push it evenly down the whole entire snowboard. For this step, having your board vertical makes it a lot easier to scrape the wax off, and you're going to want to make sure that you're scraping from the nose down to the tail. Make sure you get all the wax off with just a nice even fluid motion on the whole snowboard. By the way, cleaning up dry wax is very easy to clean, so don't be afraid to just push it right onto your floor. After you scrape the majority of the wax off, put it back on the table and keep scraping until pretty much all the wax is off the board. You'll know that you'll be done when pretty much no wax is coming off your board and it feels very smooth. A few quick pushes down the entirety of the board doesn't hurt either. For step 6, this is optional, but I recommend restoring the grain of your snowboard with some brushes. First with a copper wire brush to remove any excess wax, and then using a nylon brush with a medium stiffness, and then finally a nice soft horsehair brush. Then using a foam pad can help clean off any wax burrs. And then after all that, this is what your finished snowboard should be looking like. Nice, smooth, and ready to ride. Finally, obviously you're going to put back on your bindings. Personally, I run mines at -15/15. I feel like this is a good stance for freestyle riding. After your bindings are screwed in, you're going to want to pop those bolt caps back on. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video and you learned something. See you guys later.